guys took some time to check it out. What is up to my live crew this morning? Great to see y'all this morning, and so glad to have you here. I appreciate y'all coming in to hang out with me on this Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday morning candid coffee chat, where I just like to hang out with you in a little bit more of a comfortable setting and just have a conversation about something that's on my mind. So recently, and fairly often lately, I've been thinking about some of the quotes that anybody love quotes. I love quotes. I've always liked quotes. Certain quotes just like really strike me really well, and I've been thinking about some of the quotes that have had the most significant impact in my life and in my business. And several of them you guys probably hear me quote and say all the time. I'm quoting quotes all the time, but I think they're impactful. So I'm just going to share with you this morning. I've got 8 quotes that I noted down that are not only 8 of my favorites, but 8 quotes that have like significantly influenced and impacted my life over the years. Hang tight, I'm going to share this broadcast out to all my people that will be looking for me this morning. So cheers and good morning to you guys. I hope that your Tuesday has been awesome so far. I hope your morning beverage is delicious. Cheers and good morning to you. I appreciate you taking some of your valuable time to come in and hang out with me this morning. Y'all are amazing, and I appreciate you. So again, it's Candid Coffee Chat Day, and we're talking today about 8 of my most favorite power quotes that have significantly impacted my life and my business. Tasha, what's up, girl? And thank you so much for that sponsorship, Tasha. I super appreciate you. Kat, good morning to you. Thanks for coming in, my friend. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. Guys, cheers and good morning. I hope your morning beverage is delicious. Hope your Tuesday morning has been fantastic so far and you're ready to get about this day. And I'm going to share with you guys, as I drink some of my coffee, I'm going to share with you guys, I think I have 8 of my most favorite quotes that have significantly impacted my life and in my business. So I saw Tasha says you have a dictionary-sized book of quotes. I love quotes, but you just find that like some of them, some quotes, I don't know, for me, Sherry, good morning, girl. Cheers, good morning to you. For some of you guys, I don't know. Sometimes I hear a quote and I'll be like, that's a good quote. I like that. But then sometimes I hear a quote and I'll be like, wow, like that's a quote. And it makes you think, right? And what happens with me is some of these quotes that have really become meaningful to me, they kind of implant themselves in my mind and they surface to me a lot like a scripture will, where they'll surface to me in a moment or in a situation and it really impacts and directs my behavior. Anybody else do that? And I'll kind of explain that as I go through these, because a lot of these have not only acted as great influencers to me, but they've also acted as great reminders to me, where I'll be in a situation or in a circumstance or dealing with something or feeling something or experiencing something, and this quote or thought will come to my mind, and I'll be like, and it'll cause me to act differently because I'm reminded of these thoughts. So hopefully these are impactful to you today. Some of you guys may have heard me say some of these before, because some of them I say them quite often, but they're so impactful and they're so powerful. And I challenge you, I think it's good for you to find your quotes. Sherry's throwing all kinds of change at me this morning. Sherry, appreciate you. Jackie, good morning to you. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. So let me introduce myself real quick, guys. My name is Justin Kaplan. JustinCaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and I'm a branding strategist. And what I do is I specialize in helping startup entrepreneurs turn your passion, your gifting, your ideas into a profitable and scalable brand, leveraging the power of social media marketing. If you are new to me, if you are new to my videos, welcome. I'm so glad you're here and I super appreciate you. If you're new to me on Facebook, welcome. I'd love for you to shoot me a friend request, get connected. If you're new to me on Haps, I love you, and I'm glad you're here. YouTubers, my podcasters, everybody, wherever you're listening, I appreciate you taking your time. I know your time is so valuable, and I'm not going to waste it. Also, I'm just going to apologize in advance that I am sweating this morning because my wife and I just finished our morning workout in the gym, and it went a little longer this morning than I was planning, and it takes me a minute to cool down. So I'm like, I got to go do a broadcast, and I would prefer not to be dripping while I'm broadcasting. So if I'm a little misty, that's why. Good morning, Joanne. Thanks for coming in. Kim, Wendy, good morning to you. Y'all are amazing. All right, so let me read this first one. I'm sure many of you all have heard this quote before. This is by Charles Swindoll on the topic of attitude. Oh, I appreciate you. You're awesome, Joanne, hanging out on YouTube. You're awesome. Appreciate you from YouTube. So, this is a quote by Charles Swindoll, and I'm sure y'all have heard this, but I've always loved this, and I've actually shared this quote often with my kids as well to remind them about the power of their attitude. But Charles Swindoll says, "The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failure, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, and a home. The remarkable thing is that we have a choice every single day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes." Don't you love that? And I think for me, it's that last sentence that has surfaced in my mind so many times, especially as an entrepreneur, where I have been thrown some punches and I have gone through some stuff. And there has been seasons of lack and seasons of struggle and seasons of just, you know, those guys that have been through entrepreneurship, and you know what it's like trying to build your dream and build your business and wrestle through all the things that you wrestle through. I have been reminded on so many occasions that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I respond to it. And that for me has been such a powerful impactor of my mind. Good morning to all you guys joining on Facebook. Camille, good morning to you, girl. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. That's such a bit. It's been such a powerful impactor of my mind to remember that no matter what's being thrown at me, I have a choice to determine my attitude in this situation and how I'm going to respond to it. And I think a reason why a lot of people really struggle to pull themselves out of the pits that they might find themselves in simply is because their perspective and the way they choose to look at the situation. And oftentimes, it's a lot of times people just replay their brokenness and their hurt and their failure and their struggle in their mind, and they just that's the only tape that they play. And sometimes you got to pull that tape out and reprogram that sucker and realize, you know what, I can choose how I look at this. I can choose the perspective that I have of this situation. I can choose to grow through this, or I can choose to whine through this, right? So that one's always been huge for me. Another one, second quote I'm going to give you today is a very simple one, very short one. But I kind of learned this. I kind of learned this through circumstance. Is that everyone is not your customer? That's by Seth Godin. Everyone is not your customer. This is very important to recognize this, and I challenge you and encourage you to recognize that as sooner than later in your entrepreneurial journey. Everyone's not for you. Everyone's not going to like you. And all money is not good money, and all customers are not good customers. It's very important for you to have wisdom and discernment when you begin working with people and when people are pursuing you to work with you. Because I have had circumstances where I have taken on customers that in my gut, I knew they were not a good fit for me. And I've had point blank circumstances where the Lord has really prompted me, do not sign a contract with that person. Or, you just feel it in your gut. This is just not going to be a good fit. Has anybody ever gone through this? Felicia, thank you so much for that subscription, girl. And nice to see you this morning. Has anybody else ever gone through this where you had an opportunity to work with someone and you just could feel it in your gut? This is not something I should pursue. This is something I need to leave this one alone. And for whatever reason, whether it's you needed the finances or whatever, you chose to work with them because you needed the money. That's where it was with me. Every single circumstance that I put myself in this situation, it's because I needed the money. And I'm like, you know what? I need the money. I need the contract. I'll just work through it. It might be tougher than normal, but I'll just work through it. And I tell you what, it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. It's not worth it for what usually that circumstance will do to you, and it's definitely not worth it for what that type of circumstance has the potential to do to your brand. Now, thankfully, I have never worked with someone that went so far off the rails that it became a negative hit to my brand. I've never had to go that far, thank the Lord. But I've had some people where I've had to cut them loose. I've had people that I've had to cancel contracts with, and like, I'm sorry, I cannot work with you for these reasons. But it's definitely not worth it. Everyone is not your customer, and so that one to me comes up every time now when I have someone that's wanting to work with me. I take a very good hard look at the person that they are. I pray about it. I really seek the Lord's wisdom and guidance on it, and I really consider the person way more than the financial increase to determine whether this is going to be a good fit for me or not. So that's an important one. That's a good lesson to learn. And hopefully, you can learn that early on in your entrepreneurial journey. All right, this is one of my all-time favorite quotes ever, and this is one that I not only challenge myself with on a daily, weekly basis, but it's something that I challenge my clients with as well. This is by Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins says, "A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no new action, you haven't truly decided." Isn't that so good? I'm just going to let that marinate on you for a second while I take a drink of my coffee. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no new action, you haven't truly decided. Think about goals that you have. Think about things that you're trying to pursue. Things about desires that you have, decisions that you're trying to make. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've done something new. Not that you're thinking about doing something new or that you're going through something new. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a step forward. You've done something new, right? If there's no new action, you haven't truly decided. Because how many of y'all know that you can sit and plan and think about something, and then you can be like, yeah, well, we'll get to that next week, or you know what, maybe in the next month that'll be something that we start, or maybe you know what, as soon as I get past this, or as soon as the kids are out of school, or as soon as I start feeling better, you know what, I'll start working out and start being more consistent and disciplined in my routine. As soon as I just got to get through this season. You haven't made a decision, right? You're thinking about making a decision, but a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no new action, you haven't truly decided. Love that quote so much. It's one of my favorites. Thank you so much for that, Super Hard Jackie. I appreciate you, my friend. All right. Isn't that a good one? It's one of my favorite ones. This is another good one, and I use this one on my kids all the time. I've used this on some of my clients too when they need a little bit of tough love. This is by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. Somebody want to put that one in the chat stream for me? If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. Isn't that so true? I mean, how about you? But if I am determined to do something, I will figure out a way to do it. Who else is like that? Anybody else like that? Give me a me in the chat room if you're wired that way. Listen, y'all, if I put my mind to something, I know I can make it happen. I know I can make it happen. Like, if I am absolutely committed to doing something and I am determined to get it done, I will figure out a way to get it done. Oh, Kim, thank you. Kim says my favorite quote is the one from you about potential. So my quote about potential is, do not be insecure about the skills that you have yet to master, but be confident in your potential. That's my quote. That'll show up on Google someday for top 100 favorite quotes in the world. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. That's Jim Rohn. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. But it's just, to me, if I'm in a situation where I start making excuses for myself, or if I'm not given 100% of what I know I could be giving, I just challenge myself. Am I making excuses for myself right now? Because if I really wanted to do something, if I really wanted to do this, I would find a way to do it. If I'm talking to my kids about a circumstance, if my kids are like, oh, Dad, I'm trying to do this or I'm trying to do that, I'm like, there's no try. There's either you do or you don't. And if you really, really want this, if this is something that you really desire in your life, you will figure out a way to do it. But if you don't really want it, you'll find a way to make some excuses for why you're not doing it. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way, and if you don't, you'll find an excuse. Very simple. All right. And if anybody wants to write down my quote again is: "Do not be insecure about the skills that you have yet to master. Be confident in your potential." All right. And thank you, Ken, for referencing that. I appreciate that. Okay, that was Jim Rohn. That was my fourth one. I'm going to give you a few more. Another one that I've always loved by Les Brown. Les Brown says, to do something you've never done, you have to become someone you've never been. You have to sacrifice who you've been in the past to give birth to who you need to be for your future. To do something you've never done, you have to become someone you've never been. You have to sacrifice who you've been in the past to give birth to who you need to be for your future. Isn't that so true? Thank you so much for that super heart, Kim. I appreciate you. I love that one. Don't you? Don't you love that one? Because it's so true, y'all. There's another quote by Tony Robbins that goes right along with that one. It says, whenever you sincerely want to make a change in your life, the first thing you need to do is raise your standards. Very similar, right? So Les Brown says, to do something you've never done, you have to become someone you've never been. You have to sacrifice who you've been in the past to give birth to who you need to be for your future. Tony Robbins says, whenever you sincerely want to make a change in your life, no. Hey, I'll wait. Merle says, Merle says hi. Apparently, there's probably a very nice neighbor walking down the road with their dog, probably. And Merle's like, I want to meet the dog. Can I come out and meet the dog? No, you can't. And so he barks, and then Pearl's like, well, you're barking, I should bark too. And they're gone, and now they can't see him anymore, so the barking stops. Where was I? I was talking about, this is Candid Coffee Chat, y'all. It's live. Jalila, what's up, man? Usually when I do these live streams, usually one of the dogs shows up on my lap, so don't be surprised. But it's candid. That's why we do this. It's Candid Coffee Chat. You never know what's going to happen. Cheers and good morning to you. I hope your morning beverage is delicious. We were talking about Les Brown's quote: to do something you've never done, you have to become someone you've never been. You have to sacrifice who you've been in the past to give birth to who you need to be for your future. And then right along with that, Tony Robbins says, whenever you sincerely want to make a change in your life, the first thing that you must do is raise your standards. You have to become someone you've never been. Like, who do you need to become? Like, who do your goals require you to be? One of the things I love, I've challenged this before, but I'll just bring it up. I challenge you to think about. Can you just? I really would love your undivided attention for a minute. So those of you ladies that are doing your hair, or making breakfast for the kids, or you're kind of half listening to me. I just want everybody's undivided attention. Give me a good morning, Justin, in the chat stream if I have your undivided attention, because I really want you to think about this for a second. Good morning, Justin. I want to see it. Everybody, give me a good morning, Justin. All right. So this is what I want you to think about. I want you to think about the greatest desires that you have for your life and for your business. Like, think about it. Philip, what's up, man? Good morning to you. Look at all these good mornings. Good morning, y'all. Cheers and good morning. It's Candy Coffee Chat Day, y'all. Hope your Tuesday beverage is delicious. I appreciate you hanging out with me this morning. All right, so I want you to think about the greatest desires that you have for your life and your business. I want you to think about, good morning, Amber. I want you to think about the financial desires that you have. Where do you want to be financially? Where do you want to be in your business? Where do you want to be in your life? What kind of clients do you want to have? Like, what are some of the greatest desires that you have in your business and in your life? Think about those for a second. There's no limits everything that you could possibly ever desire. Imagine now that you have it. Imagine we're 3, 4, 5 years down the road and you have all of those things. You have the client base, you have the income level, you have the business, you have the exposure, you have the family, you have whatever it is that you want, you have those things. Okay? Now I want you to picture yourself in that scenario with those things. And I want you to look at who you are, who you need to be in that situation. So, because I can guarantee you, if you're just starting a business right now, and maybe you don't even have any clients right now, you're just starting your branding, or you're just starting to develop your strategy, or you're just getting going on social media, and some of the greatest desires of your heart is, Justin, I want freedom. I want to have I want to have a consistent income that pays my bills. I want to retire my husband. I want to be able to travel and take vacations. I want to be able to impact people's lives. I want to be a public speaker. I want to be a published author. I want to be one of the most sought after coaches in my field of business. Right? If those are how many of y'all have goals like that? Like, do you have goals like that? Put yes in the chat room if you have goals like that. Like, how many of y'all want to be speakers and be traveling the world speaking on stages? How many of you want to be published authors? How many of y'all want to be coaches that are impacting hundreds and thousands of people's lives every single year through your techniques and through your principles? Like, how many of y'all want those things? You guys want to be that? How many of y'all want to be there? Okay. So imagine those things. And now I want you to picture you in that situation, because I can guarantee you the person that you are there is way different than the person you are today. And I have had to have some tough love conversations with some people that have been like, they reach out to me, Justin, can you teach me how to build a business? More importantly, can you teach me how to just make money online? And I'll be like, okay, tell me what your daily routine looks like. What do you mean? Tell me about my daily routine. What's a day in the life of you look like? What time do you get up? What's your routine? What's your schedule look like? No, no, I don't need personal development. I need you to teach me how to get online. What do I need to say? What do I need to post to get clients? Well, this is the problem. The problem is you just want the increase, but you don't want everything that's going to come along with the increase. A lot of people want businesses, but they don't want to have to act like business owners. If those goals that you have, those desires that you have, if you want to be a highly sought after public speaker, you want to be a coach, you want to be a mentor, you have got to be disciplined, focused, consistent, prepared, leveled up. You need to have your back end just as in line as your front end. You can't get out and have amazing marketing and have no structure in your office. You have to know fully how to handle taxes and paperwork and legal and licensing and all that stuff if you plan to go out and be making six figures a year, right? You got to have it the whole circle together. So that reason, I'm unpacking this one quote. To do something you've never done, you have to become someone you've never been. Kenyatta, good morning to you, girl. Thanks for coming in. You have to sacrifice who you've been in the past. If you really, really, truly want those goals that you want to be a speaker, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a coach, you want to have a thriving ministry, you want to have a thriving coaching practice, you want freedom, you want to retire your husband, you want to pay off your mortgage, you want to be debt free, you want to have more money and more commas and digits in your bank account than you know what to do with. You need to sacrifice who you've been in the past to give birth to who you need to be for that future. You need to sacrifice your laziness. You need to sacrifice your procrastination. You need to sacrifice your limiting beliefs. You need to sacrifice your doubt, your inhibitions, your fear. All of that can't go with you into that future. Am I cracking anybody's skull this morning? Like, yo, wait. This wasn't meant to be a sermon. This is meant to be candid coffee chat. But I am being as candid as I can be with you this morning. There are certain things about your world today that you got to lay down. Like, take a minute and just ask yourself, what about the me of today can't go with me into that future? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it insecurity? Is it laziness? Is it procrastination? Is it bad habits? Is it strongholds? Is it rejection? Is it bitterness? Limiting what? I mean, you got inner vows that you formed in your life based on circumstances. Inner vow is you got a broken relationship. Somebody did you wrong here. Somebody that you trusted, somebody that you were loved, somebody that you relied on, did you wrong back here. So you formed an inner vow for yourself, saying, "I'm never going to trust anyone again. I'm never going to rely on anybody again. I'm going to do this myself." That's an inner vow, and that's basically telling the Lord, "I don't trust you with my life, so I'm going to just take care of me." Because I don't believe you can do a good job taking care of me. So I'm going to take care of myself. I've got this. I'm going to do this on my own. But my Bible says it's not by my power or by might, but by his spirit working through me that my dreams will be able to be fulfilled and accomplished. But some of y'all are trying to hold on so tightly to your own inner vows that I have got this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to protect myself from this. I'm not going to trust anyone else again. I'm what? Fill in the blank for yourself. To do something you've never done, you have to become someone you've never been. You have to sacrifice that, whatever that is for you. Fill in the blank to give birth to who you need to be for that future that you desire. Because I think every one of us have dreams. I think every one of us have goals, have aspirations. I mean, what happens when I start being like, guys, tell me what you're excited about. How many of y'all want to be authors? How many of y'all want to be speakers? How many of y'all want to take that gifting that God has given you and give it to the world and let people go out and experience it? How many of y'all want to influence people's lives on a grand scale? How many of y'all want to be on stage and in front of the camera, in front of the audience, and bringing in that income and having that freedom and spending the time that you would want with your family? Like, how many of y'all want to do that? I start asking those questions. Everybody's like, me, Justin. I want to do me. I'd be like, all right, how many of y'all are ready to drop procrastination to the floor today? Wait a minute, what? I got to do what? How many of y'all want to stop allowing fear to be a controlling mechanism in your family? How many of y'all want to how many of y'all are ready to release bitterness today? Hands up. Who's that one? Crickets. How many of y'all are ready to let go of rejection? How many of y'all are ready to drop that limiting that inner vow you've made? Anybody? That's not as exciting, but it's so necessary. And that's heart work, y'all. That's inner work. That's your work to do. I can't do that work for you. Nobody can do that work for you. That's your work. You have to do that. To do something you've never done, meaning to pursue and to actually arrive at that destination that you are so passionate about getting to. When I say, who wants to be that? You're like, yeah, I want to be that. That person is different than the person you are today. Wow, Jackie just said, I'm going forward because going back is not an option. You know, one of the things, I had a conversation with someone recently. I guess recently, it was a couple months ago, but we were talking about, I've been coaching them for a while, and there's just constant excuses coming up. Constant, I can't, constant because, always reasons. And so we ended up getting into just the tough stuff conversation. And I was just challenging them. I'm like, is this something that you really, really want? And I was giving examples about certain things that I worked through, certain difficulties that I had when I started my business, certain struggles that I had to go through when I was working and trying to build my brand and trying to get to the end of my goals. And this person said to me, well, Justin, it's different for you. And I said, why is it different for me? They said, because success wasn't optional for you. You lost your job. You had to make it work. You didn't have an option. So you had that core motivator where you had to succeed because you had no other option. I'm like, well, that's your problem. And they're like, what's my problem? So the problem is you've made success optional. You've made your goal optional. Yeah. You know what? You're right. When I started my business, success was not optional for me. I was determined to win. I'm programmed to win. My mind is programmed for victory. I declare that every day, no matter what. But I guess that goes back to attitude. Because I'm convinced that 10% life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I respond to it. My mind is programmed for victory. I am programmed to win. I am destined to win. Period. Doesn't mean I'm not going to grow through stuff, but I've committed in my mind that there is success is not optional for me. You know, Kim says there was no plan B. For me, there was not a plan B. Doesn't mean to me, listen, doesn't mean that plan B was not available. Means that I did not give myself a plan B. This will work for me. I'm committed to it. But this particular person I was talking to, I'm like, that's your problem. You've made success optional. It was optional for you to succeed or fail. And you stepped 1 foot in the water but left 1 foot on the ground to make sure that you still had that ground to step on. Yeah. Well, I'm preaching to you this morning. Let's keep going, shall we? Here's another one. Let me give you a couple more of some of my favorites. This is one by I'm going to give you a couple by Zig Ziglar. One by Zig Ziglar says, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. Yeah, who said that? Yeah, Camille said you burn the ships. Love that statement, Camille. Love that. Awesome. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. That's Zig Ziglar. Been talking a lot about this in the past week, doing this live stream challenge that I'm doing. In case you guys want to get plugged into this, if you haven't already done so, it's free. And even though we've been at it for a week, you're welcome to join. You guys can go to hapschallenge.com, and that'll plug you into my challenge. It's a free 4-week challenge where I'm just challenging a group of people to make a commitment to step up their live stream game in the month of April for 4 weeks. We're on week 2 this week. And there's several people that have gone out and done the first time. They've done their first ever broadcast. I love that, Alexis. Appreciate success is not an option. I appreciate that, Alexis, and good morning to you, buddy. Thanks for being here. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. I think people like Alexis, people like some of us broadcasters that have been doing broadcasting for a long time. Like I'm at about 5.5 years of doing live streams, and when I started, I sucked at streaming. You know what's funny? You know, I was talking to somebody just about this yesterday. I'm like, when I started live streaming in February in 2016, I had no idea what content was. I had no idea how to create great video content. I had no idea how to do a live video. I had zero plan whatsoever in my business to make video content a primary marketing tool. I mean, my business plan at the time was to grow locally, to be a local business networker. And I was a part of the Chamber of Commerce. I was getting plugged into networking events. I was doing door to door, all the stuff to just grow locally. That was what I knew was local sales. And then I got invited to try out this Periscope live thing. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to do that. And then my first ever broadcasts were garbage. Garbage. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. And now, over 5 years later, 99% of my clientele in my business is international. 1% is local. All of you people. Oh, neighbors apparently walking back with their dog. No, Merle. Shh. 1% is local. And all of you that I have met over the years, all these faces, like literally every person that's watching this broadcast right now, I know you because of live video. Because I've put myself out there. Because I decided to go out and press a button and say go live and be vulnerable and have a conversation with people all over the world that could judge me, that could critique me, that could not like me, that could think I have no value. Those are all fears that so many people have. What if this? What if that? What if they don't like me? What if they judge me? What if they don't? What if nobody likes what I have to say? What if nobody shows up? What if they do show up? Paul, what's up, brother? Nice to see you this morning, man. What if? What if? What if? What if? Well, yeah, all those what ifs are available, but you still show up and press the button. But really, what it boils down to is, what if? What if I met an audience of people that completely changed my life? What if I make friendships from people all over the world that'll be closer to my family? What if some of the most meaningful moments in my life are stemmed from relationships that I have through a screen? What if that? What if I'm able to sincerely change someone's life over and over and over and over again? What if I could save someone's marriage? What if I could teach someone how to leverage their skill and create a lifestyle that will give their kids everything they've ever wanted? What if I'm able to help someone fully step into their calling and their gifting and become the influencer and the impactor for the kingdom that the Lord has called them to be? What if I'm able to make ripples every single day in people's lives that just change the world? What if that? So when you start with all the what ifs, choose what ifs you're going to focus on. Because going back to Zig Ziglar's quote, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. So many people stay in the what if mode, and they don't go out and do something that the Lord has called them and prepared them and prompted them to do, simply because they can't get past their own fear, insecurity. And a lot of these quotes are tying together. To do something you've never done, you have to become someone you've never been, right? And going back to Tony Robbins' quote, a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no new action, you haven't truly decided. A lot of these are tying together. I'm gonna give you another Zig Ziglar quote that I love. This is a good time of year for this one too. Zig Ziglar says, "When obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there." When obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. That one reminds me that when I go out on pursuit of something, and I'm chasing something, or I'm trying to accomplish something, or I have a goal that I'm trying to reach, or a dream that I'm trying to fulfill, stuff's gonna happen, y'all. You're gonna have some days that suck. You're gonna have some situations that just throw you for a loop. You're gonna have some struggle. It happens. It's gonna come, right? But when those obstacles arise, you don't quit. You don't change your decision to pursue that goal. You just change your direction. You call an audible. You say, you know what? I didn't see that coming, but that's okay, because I can work around that, or I can use that to my advantage, or I can pause here for a minute, deal with this, and get right back on the horse and keep riding. Right? I can adjust. I can shift. I can change. I can whatever. The Bible says the steps of the righteous man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in their way. But not all steps go up. Some steps go down. Not all steps go forward. Some steps turn around and will take you backward. And so I trust that whatever journey the Lord has me on to get to my end destination, no matter what I get thrown at me, I'm asking the Lord every single day, Lord, just what is my next step? And even if it's a step down, or a step left, or a step right, or a step back, it's my next step. And I'm going to take that step in faith, trusting that you know exactly what you're doing, and you're ordering my steps. You're leading me towards my goal. Now, some of you guys may feel like you're on a spiral staircase. You know what? Well, maybe that spiral staircase is going to get you down to a playing field that you can operate on, and then you're going to thrive. Maybe that spiral staircase is taking you to a higher level. You might be feeling like you're going in circles. Maybe those circles are taking you up. You may be feeling like you're stepping down. Or maybe you're stepping down to get on an escalator to take you back up. Who knows what that step is? But when obstacles arise, you don't quit. You just change your direction, okay? I got two left for you. They're just practical ones that I've loved over the years. This one, I've heard this before, but the first person that ever said this one to me was one of my favorite bosses in the world, Donnie Sanchez, who I've talked about before. Um, Donnie said to me one time when this is when I worked in corporate. We were discussing some of the plans that I had for our business and some of the things that I needed to accomplish, and I used the word hope. And he said to me, "Justin, hope is not a strategy." And it kind of ticked me off at the time. Hope is not a strategy, but you know what? I mean, hope is powerful. I am a very hopeful, positive person, but I am never just hopeful. Where I just hope things are going to work out. I am strategic, and I learned this from Donnie. Is that every situation, no matter what you are on the pursuit of, no matter what you're trying to accomplish, there's always a strategy that can be applied. And there's always a way to look at a situation and truly decide how you want to handle it and how you want to go through it, how you want to adjust because of it. I'm never in a position where if I meet a difficulty or a roadblock or a struggle or a situation that's got me stuck or paused or whatever, I'm never in a position where I just stop and be like, well, I hope it works out. Hope is not a strategy. I'm always going to be like, all right, what can I do with this today? What is in my control and what is outside of my control? And sometimes, depending on this situation, this is where you might want to do a brain dump. And a good way to do a brain dump in a situation like this is you're like, all right, with everything I got on my mind, let me just dump everything on paper that I've got on my mind right now. And you get it all out on paper. What am I worried about? What do I got? What do I got to do? You dump everything that you can possibly think of down on paper. And then what I usually do with a brain dump is I'll go down, the first thing I look for is what is outside of my control. What can I not impact or influence directly? If I cannot control it, influence it, or impact it, I'm crossing it off my list, because then it's just something that I just don't need to be spending my time worrying about because I can't control it. Then you're left with, this is what I can do. So yeah, while I may hope that this is going to work out for me, what I'm really focused on is what can I control and what am I going to do today to operate within my control. I'll tell you this, y'all, incredible change will happen in your life when you start taking control over the things that you do have control over instead of craving control over the things that you don't. Somebody need that one today. Some of you are so focused on things that you can't impact. You're so focused on things that you can't control. Incredible change will happen in your life when you start taking control over the things that you do have control over instead of craving control over the things that you don't. Okay? Last one I'm going to give you is by Meredith Hill. That's for all you business owners out there. People don't buy products, they buy solutions. People don't buy information, they buy the person who is delivering the information. I'm going to say that one again. People don't buy products, they buy solutions. People don't buy information, they buy the person that's delivering the information. It's all about you. It's all about you, y'all. Listen, you are your number one marketing tool. You are the most valuable asset that you have in your business. You are the one thing that nobody else can compete with. You. Your gifting, your ability, your humor, your background, your expertise, your knowledge, your quirks, your behavior, the way your mind works, the way you operate, the way you do things, your approach, your spin on your industry, it's you. It's the way you do things. That's what makes people attracted to you. Believe it or not, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Believe it or not, I am not the only person that teaches about branding on the planet. You can't believe it, can you? Somebody just fell out their chair. You thought I was the only one, didn't you? I'm flattered that you thought I was the only one, but I'm not the only person If you're looking for help with branding or business strategy, I'm not the only person that can teach you that type of stuff. But I am the only me. I am the only one that does it my way. I am the only Justin Kaplan Pro. I might be the only one that can make you laugh and cry and learn in the same broadcast. But that's strategic because I'm an edutainer. My seek is to educate you and entertain you in the same broadcast, right? But I'm me. That's who I am. This is who I am, right? So people, when someone's looking to hire someone for branding and business development, they're not just looking for information and process. They're looking for a person that can work with them. That's what I do. That's who I am, right? That's what people pay for. People pay for you. People aren't just looking for, man, how do I get transformation in my life? They're looking for who can help me experience a transformation in my life. I think about my brother Paul. Man, I've heard so many people over the years that help people through being set free from addiction and all those things. I think, but then Paul comes to my mind, and I think about the way Paul approaches his craft, and the way he approaches his mission in his ministry. There's nobody like Paul. Now, those guys that know Paul, you'd agree with me. There's nobody like Paul Ybarra, because that man teaches and impacts people's lives in a way that only Paul can do. Same with my girl Maggie. My Maggie has such a gifting for people that have been broken and that have been addicted and that have gone through so much struggle in their life. Maggie has lived that. So think about the way Maggie teaches and the way Maggie helps the younger generation to not only save the younger generation from having to go through it, but also bringing people that have gone through it out of it. There's no one like Maggie. There's no one like Tasha. There's no one like Jackie. There's no one like Sherry. There's no one like Camille Mackenzie. My goodness, Camille. Camille's ability to unpack the word and teach it in a way that you can digest it and absorb it and consume it and then get a hunger for it, for want to have more. Like, I want to get more of Camille. Like, that's your gifting. Who God made you is your ultimate advantage. It's your ultimate advantage. People don't buy products, they buy solutions. And people don't buy information, they buy the person who's delivering the information. Look at you all. I didn't know that. Paul and Maggie are doing a twice a month broadcast together. Bomb. Love that. Love that so much. Listen, y'all, if you're dealing with addiction, struggle, bondage, you need to follow Maggie and Paul. Those two will set you free for real. All right. Is that good stuff today? I felt like that was a pretty good broadcast today. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate you. Happy Tuesday. Cheers and good morning to you. This is Candid Coffee Chat Tuesday, where I just talk to you about stuff I'm in the mood to talk to you about. And today happen to be some of my favorite quotes that have impacted my life. So hopefully I rattled your cage a little bit today. Gave you some stuff to chew on, gave you some stuff to think about. Man, I sincerely challenge you to think about those goals and those dreams that you have. And the place that you want to see yourself in a year from now, or 2 years from now, and 3 years from now. And what does that look like for you? What is that going to require of you? And you start working on becoming the person today that your goals are going to require of you down the road. Because I believe the quicker you become that person, the quicker those goals show up. That's exactly what happened to me. And I've always had that perspective, even in corporate, where I've never been satisfied with status quo. I've never satisfied with average. Whatever level I've gotten to, it's always what's my next level? And what's the fastest track for me to get there? I mean, I remember the first day when I first got one of the biggest corporate positions that I was so excited to have. And I was just so excited to be there. And I remember the first day sitting down with my new boss, and we were talking about some things we want to do for the business. And he was asking about what my goals are. And he asked me what my goals are. I just got this position. And he said to me, Justin, tell me about your goals for the company and where do you want to be? What do you want to do with your career? I said, I want your chair. He's like, what? I said, I want to be sitting where you are. So what's the quickest way for me to get there? What do I need to do to learn to be right there? I want to be right there. He's like, well, let's just work on where you just got right there for a minute. I said, no, I'm going to master this, but I want to be there too. I'm like, so my mission as I learn this role is to do as much to take off your plate as possible because I want your chair. He's like, okay. And he mentored me, man, and taught me so much stuff. And he let me do stuff for him and with him that other peers of mine weren't allowed or weren't able to do because they just didn't have that drive. So I'm going to leave you with this, y'all. Whatever your next level is, become that person now. Even if you don't have paying clients now, your desire is to have a full schedule of paying clients, but you don't have a single client today. Operate today as if you had a full schedule of paying clients, because I'll tell you, your schedule today versus what your schedule and what your mindset and what your routine and what your discipline looks like when you have a full schedule of paying clients is way different. You don't get up when you want to. When you have paying clients, you get up when you have to. You follow through. You maintain your emails. You follow up on your leads. You handle your workload. You structure your schedule. You block your time. You're focused. You're committed. You're disciplined. You have to be able to do those things. Do that now. It's way easier to discipline yourself with that now versus trying to discipline yourself with that once you've got a whole bunch of commitment on your plate. Become the person that your goals require you to be and start doing that today, all right? I'm going to leave you that today, guys. Cheers and good morning. Have an amazing Tuesday. I appreciate you. How long have I been going here? Almost an hour. I know an hour of your time is so valuable, so I appreciate your time this morning, guys. Have a beautiful day. Be intentional with your time today. Be intentional with your talent. Get about your goals today, and I'll see you around the web, all right? Take care. God bless. I'll see you guys later.